staring at a Wi-Fi icon that just won't cooperate. Welcome to Fix It Yourself, episode 13, where we get you back online, step by step, starting with the 10-second fixes and working our way up to the last resort stuff. And quick heads up, if you're connected but have no internet, that's its own beast, and we cover it in episode 14. Today is all about Wi-Fi that simply won't connect. So let's start at the bottom of the ladder with the embarrassingly simple stuff. Because honestly, these fix the problem more often than anyone wants to admit. Make sure Wi-Fi is actually switched on, double check that airplane mode hasn't snuck its way on, and confirm you're connecting to your network and not a neighbor's or some old one from 2 apartments ago. And here's the big one. Check whether other devices in the house are working. If your phone is happily online, the problem is just this device. If nothing's connecting, we're looking at the router. That single question splits the rest of this fix in 2. Now we climb one rung up to the classic move. Toggle Wi-Fi off, count to 10, and switch it back on. That tiny pause forces your device to forget what it was doing and rescan the network fresh. And flipping airplane mode on and off does exactly the same job in a single tap. If that doesn't shake things loose, give the device a proper restart. A full reboot clears out the little glitches a toggle just can't reach, and you'd be surprised how often that alone gets you back online. But if no device in the house can get online, that points the finger squarely at your router. And it's time for a proper power cycle. Pull the plug on both the router and the modem. Don't just tap a button, actually unplug them. Wait a full 30 seconds so they can clear their memory, then plug the modem back in first and let its light settle. Once that's steady, power the router back on and give it 2 to 3 minutes to fully wake up. Modem first, router second, every time. Now flip back to the other scenario. Only this one device is being stubborn while everything else is happily online. 9 times out of 10, that's a saved Wi-Fi profile that's gone stale, so we just tell the device to forget it and start fresh. On Windows, head into Settings, Network and Internet, Wi-Fi, then Manage Known Networks. Pick your network and hit Forget. On a Mac, it's System Settings, Wi-Fi Details, then forget this network. Reconnect, retype the password, and you've given that connection a clean slate. And once you're retyping that password, slow down. Because honestly, this is where most people trip up. Wi-Fi passwords are case sensitive, so a capital H and a lowercase h are 2 completely different things. If you're not sure what it actually is, flip your router over. There's almost always a sticker on the back with the default network name and key. And tick that little show password box as you type so you can spot a swapped 0 for an O before it bites you. If you changed it ages ago and now it's a mystery, hang tight. Episode 17 covers finding and resetting it. Now, if the password is right but it still won't connect, the next suspect is signal strength, because a weak signal often disguises itself as a connection failure. Walk right up to the router and try again. Thick walls, floors, and metal kill Wi-Fi. The 5 GHz band is fast but doesn't travel far, so flip over to 2.4 GHz for more reach. And watch out for microwaves, baby monitors, and your neighbor's network all fighting for the same airspace. If you've tried everything and your device still refuses to cooperate, it's time for the nuclear option, a full network reset. On Windows, head into Settings, Network and Internet, Advanced, then Network Reset. On a Mac, remove the Wi-Fi service in Network Settings and add it back, or reset the SMC on older models. One warning before you click, this wipes every saved Wi-Fi network and password your device knows, so dig those passwords out first. Now, before we go any further, let's pull everything together into one clear game plan, the fix ladder. You start at the top with the 10-second toggle, and you only climb down a rung if the previous step didn't work. The whole idea is to stop the moment you're back online, because there's no prize for doing extra steps. And here's the reassuring part. About 9 times out of 10, you'll be sorted by step 3, and you'll almost never need to go past step 6. Now, quick sidebar, because I know some of you are watching this thinking, but my Wi-Fi shows connected, there's just no internet. That's actually a different beast. Your device joined the network just fine. The breakdown is happening past your router, out toward your provider, or sometimes it's just a DNS hiccup. A router restart fixes most of these, and it's worth checking if your provider has an outage in your area. But for the full walkthrough, that's its own episode, number 14. Okay, back to our main track. And here's a trick that'll save you hours of guessing. Grab an Ethernet cable, plug your computer straight into the router, and see what happens. If the internet suddenly works over that cable, congratulations! You've just proven the connection itself is fine, and the trouble is somewhere on the wireless side. But if the cable doesn't work either, then it's not your device at all. It's the router or your provider, and that changes everything about where we go next. Before we go any further, let's pause on a few traps that catch almost everyone. That little pinhole on the back of your router, leave it alone. Pressing it factory resets the whole thing and wipes your settings. Just unplug the power instead. Double-check your password using show password, because 9 times out of 10, it's a sneaky capital letter or a 0 pretending to be an O. Restart your laptop too, not just the router. And test, standing right next to the router first. A weak signal looks exactly like no connection at all. All right, let's pull the whole ladder together. Start by asking the big diagnostic question. Is it just this one device acting up, or is everything in the house offline? From there, climb the easy rungs first. Toggle Wi-Fi off and on. Restart your device and your router. Then forget the network and rejoin while double-checking that password. If you're still stuck, move closer or switch bands, and only if nothing else works do you reach for the network reset. If you take just one thing away from all of this, let it be this. Wi-Fi is a chain. Your device, then your router, then your provider, and the trick is finding which link is actually broken before you touch anything. Ask yourself, is it just me, or is it everyone? And let that answer point you at the right fix. Resetting everything blindly tends to break more than it solves. Narrowing it down first is what gets you back online without the headache. Now, if all of this has left you a little curious about what's actually happening when your device says connected, there's a whole rabbit hole waiting for you. Over in the Networking Explained series, we break down how a packet actually travels across the network, how DNS turns names like Dargslan.com into real addresses, and how TCP/IP gives all your devices a common language to talk in. Same ideas you've seen here, just one level deeper. And if you'd rather stay on the practical side, this series has plenty more for you. Episode 14 picks up exactly where this one leaves off, when you're connected but still have no internet. Episode 15 digs into slow Wi-Fi and where you actually should be putting that router. Episode 17 walks you through finding and changing your Wi-Fi password, and if your computer itself feels sluggish, Episode 7 has you covered. And honestly, if there's a tech headache bugging you, drop it in the comments. It might just be the next fix. Before you head off, one tiny bit of homework that'll save future you a lot of stress. Write your Wi-Fi name and password down somewhere safe. A notes app, a password manager, anywhere that isn't just the sticker on the router that fades over time. Knowing your password turns most Wi-Fi lockouts into a 1-minute fix. And if you want to go deeper, really understand how networks and the internet work, Dargslan has full courses on that over at dargslan.com. And if you've skimmed all the way here looking for the short version, here it is. The 3 moves that fix most Wi-Fi problems. Toggle Wi-Fi off, wait 10 seconds, turn it back on. If that doesn't do it, restart both your device and your router. Unplug the router for a full 30 seconds. And if it's still being stubborn, forget the network and rejoin with your password. 9 times out of 10, you're back online. Now I'm curious, which one actually did the trick for you? Was it the simple toggle, the good old router restart, forgetting the network and rejoining, or did it turn out the password had quietly changed all along? Drop a comment and let me know. It genuinely helps me figure out which fixes to lead with next time. And that's a wrap on episode 13. The big takeaway: Find the broken link first, then fix just that one thing. Don't go reinstalling Windows because your Wi-Fi icon looked at you funny. If this helped get you back online, hit subscribe over at Dargslan.com for a fresh, simple fix every week. See you in the next one.